Welcome to JHouze Radio episode 53. Today we're going to be talking about Eternals. We're going to give our review on it, our thoughts, how we feel about it, and we're going to talk about three things that we like or don't like about the movie. Other than that, we got a few other things that we want to say. That did we get like a spoiler, like a pre-spoiler?
I'm gonna have a hard time coming up with things I like.
Oh, Los is gonna have a hard time coming up with things you like. Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be an interesting conversation. Beaky in chat says there's no spoilers. There will be spoilers, FYI. So just so you guys know, that's why it's called Spoilercast, guys. There's going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen it yet, this is probably not going to be a good episode for you guys. All right, I'm out. All right, Beaky, I'm sorry, buddy.
No, Beaky, stay. Trust me, it'll save you some money.
Oh wow, gee whiz. So before we jump into it, just so you guys know, just want to give you a few updates. JHouze Radio on YouTube, well, JHouze Studios on YouTube, the name has changed. Now it's going to be JHouze Radio. We're doing a little bit of a branding differential on the YouTube channel. We want to have the channel focus more so on JHouze Radio. And once we start getting into the film aspect of JHouze Studios, we'll have a separate channel for everything else outside of JHouze Radio. But we just really want that channel to focus in on the podcast, since we have a lot of content that is pretty much basically about the podcast on the YouTube channel. And then we also have a JHouze Radio Twitch channel as well. So you guys can find a link to that in the show notes if you're listening to the audio version or watching the recorded version of this episode. So let's jump into our PWLs real quick if you have any. I'll let you go first if you have any. If not, I'll go first.
Playing, I actually haven't touched my PS4 in since the last podcast. I've just been too busy. I'm watching Star Trek Prodigy and Star Trek Discovery. Discovery premiered yesterday on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an episode, so I'm kind of let down.
Okay. Interesting.
Have you ever seen Star Trek 2 from the new relaunch, the J.J. Abrams Star Trek?
No, honestly, man, I have not been up on Star Trek in so long. It's been a while. It's been so long.
Well, the first scene of Discovery season 4, episode 1, felt like a ripoff of J.J. Star Trek 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it felt like a blatant ripoff, and I was like, "Oh my god, this season sucks."
Los doesn't like anything anymore. What's going on? What's going on?
No, you know what it is? It's just that they've done better. You know what I'm trying to say? They've done better, especially in openings, and season openings. That this one just felt like a letdown. It might be just because they've done better that I feel this one was bad, but it wasn't as good as the other ones.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah. So I mean, what have you been
to listening to? Everything, because I'm trying to make up a new routine. I'm looking now a lot for remixes. Like I have 6 new remixes for Bad Guy. Who the hell does it again? You're
Bad
a bad
guy.
Really, really tough guy. What the fuck is her name? Billie English.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I got 6 brand new remixes that are so good. I can put that song back in my in circulation with routines and stuff, because I have a reggaeton version of it.
Mm-hmm.
I have a Moombaton version of it. The Moombaton version is really good. And I have a house version of it that literally I stepped back from my controller when I was playing it over the speakers. I was like, damn, this is good.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really listened to Billie Eilish in a while, so I might have to check her out again. Let me see, what am I been doing lately? I've been I don't know, I've been kind of stretching my wings a little bit, jumping into things that I usually wouldn't try out. I'm currently playing Guardians of the Galaxy. The video game just came out like last month. It's already nominated for Game of the Year, actually, and I'm actually having a lot of fun playing it. I'm super early in it. I know I'm supposed to finish Ghost of Tsushima, Los. I know. You're probably like, why are you playing that game if you didn't finish Ghost?
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the thing is, and I have an excuse. I'm playing that game because I want to have context for our game of the year. I mean, for our content of the year episode, basically. So that's why. That's my excuse.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm pretty early in it. I heard a lot of good things about it. That's why I wanted to try it out. Um, and people are loving it, man. The music, I would say, the music is freaking amazing. It's a lot of 90s, 80s rock that a lot of us probably grew up on and probably love, basically. So it's typical, Quill style, basically. The I like the fact that the Guardians look different from the movie Guardians. It just kind of gives it its own personality. From what I hear, the story is completely separate from what we know from the films. So it's literally in its own timeline, its own, like, it's doing its own thing. Basically, it's not trying to be the movies.
But
Um,
is it based off the movies or is it based off the comic books?
I'm still early, so I'm not sure. I want to say I mean, it picks up some inspiration from the film as far as like character design and like things like that. So far from what I see, that's probably the closest thing that it really picks up from the movie. It's just character design, maybe some personality traits from the actual actors from the film. But it seems like it's mainly going to just be going for like a little bit of both, probably more so from the comics. Like I said, I'm still early, so I'm not sure where the story's going yet.
Okay.
Um, but it's just, it feel like it's just doing its own thing, and a lot of people were a little skeptical about the game because Square Enix made this game. Square Enix did uh what is it? The Avengers game that came out last year or earlier this year that everybody hated. It was full of glitches and the game just wasn't good, basically. So a lot of people were worried about it going into this game, but this game is a single player game. It's not a multiplayer game like the Avengers, and for it to be nominated for Game of the Year, it says a lot, So,
Now, is
I'm.
that the Avengers game where it looked like the Wish version of the Avengers?
It looks like the Wish version of the Avengers. What do you mean?
Yeah. You ever heard of Wish.com where you can get all the knockoffs and ripoffs
Oh
that come
yeah,
from China? Is it that one?
yeah, yeah. I would. I
Okay.
mean, if that's in a good way, then yeah. If it's in a bad way,
No,
no.
in a bad way.
Oh, okay, no, it's not that. I would say so far this is I'm having more fun playing this than I did with the Avengers. Avengers was okay, but the multiplayer aspect sucked. Either way, I mean, I like it. I think it's a pretty good game so far. I'm super early, so yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Okay.
As far as what I'm watching, not episode, season 2 of the Morning Show on Apple TV Plus. Loving it. This season, I think it's season 2. Yeah. This season is really intense. It's a great show. It's basically a TV show about the behind the scenes of a morning, pretty much like a morning news show, basically. Um,
Okay.
Jennifer Aniston's in it. She's great. I love her in it. Great cast. It's pretty much a good show. I would definitely recommend it. Check it out. What I'm listening to, Christmas music. That's what I'm
Oh
listening to right
God.
now. Are you
Yo,
tired of Christmas music already?
I hate DJing with Christmas music.
I could imagine DJing with Christmas music is probably
Hate
challenging.
it. No, it's not because here it is. Okay. So you do a party, right? Let me
Okay.
break down DJing a party for you. Okay. So when people come in, you're playing older stuff that people know and like, but doesn't hype them up, you know? So
Okay.
then once that starts usually, right, you don't get any once you it's about 45 minutes of that. Uh and if it's a Christmas party, you're throwing in Christmas music. Okay.
Okay.
So then there's usually an announcement, like if it's a Sweet 16 or a 15, everyone does their routine, you play the song, whatever, and then you start playing the dance music. So then everyone's up and going. And then all of a sudden there's an announcement, here's dinner. So then you're back to like this slow shit and stuff. So then you're playing Christmas music. But I'll play things like Mili Kamiki Laha. You ever heard that song?
No. What is that?
It's
I've
the
never heard that.
Hawaiian version of saying Merry Christmas. It's sung by Bing Crosby.
Okay. The Hawaiian version. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's Mili Kamiki Laha is the thing to say on a wild sunny whatever. And I'll find like all these other Christmas songs to play, but then you've got to play, stupid songs like "Donde está Santa Claus?"
Oh man.
Carol of the Bells, Frosty the Snowman is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Which, by the way, Bing Crosby like dominates Christmas music. Um, seriously, like White Christmas, Silver Bells, Mili Kamiki Laha is beginning to look a lot like Christmas. You know, it's just so much. And then people who are complaining about "Baby, It's Cold Outside," which I think is so stupid.
Baby, it's cold outside. Put a coat on. Go
You
inside.
never heard that song?
Yeah, yeah, I heard
You know,
it.
it's like people are like, "Oh, that's just a bad song." Really? But WAP is okay. And all these other songs that are like, suck my whatever, and I'm gonna put it in your this, and I'm gonna take pictures of it and spread it around the internet. A song about
Oh,
that's okay. A song about
oh,
flirting is bad, but those other songs are okay. Makes no sense to me.
of course. Of course it makes sense, Los. Come on. Why wouldn't it make sense?
No. And the thing too, like certain parties will want you to play religious Christmas songs, and there really isn't too many because people only really think of like the commercial and the commercial holiday version of it. It's strange. I hate.
Los is like, I hate DJing Christmas parties. Just don't call me for a Christmas party. That's all I gotta say.
No, they're a lot of money. I will DJ a Christmas party, no problem.
Oh,
But don't
really?
expect me to be like, you know,
Nah.
when a Christmas song comes on.
I'm not gonna be sitting here dancing with you, but I'll DJ your party.
Yeah,
That's how Los is call it.
I think
Um.
Jingle Bell Rock is like the fast one.
Oh yeah, I love that one. Classic. Classic. Um. Speaking of Christmas, I have a random Christmas fact for you. I have a few random Christmas facts that are actually pretty interesting. Um, the first Christmas happened in 336 AD in Rome. It's interesting.
Oh yes, that oh, what was the name of the guy? It was for the God of Winter or something.
The god of winter. I never knew that there was a god of winter.
Yeah, it was celebrated on the solstice, which is the 21st, which most non-Western religions celebrate. They
Okay.
don't celebrate on the 25th, they celebrate on 21st on the solstice. And the reason why it's celebrated on the 25th for Christians is because it's 3 days after.
Oh,
21st,
okay.
22nd, 23rd, 24th, and 25th is the day after. That's why it's
Interesting.
celebrated on the 25th, but it's actually based off winter solstice.
Hmm. Never knew that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting fact. Another one in here, and these are from facts.net, by the way, which is like where I always go to for my facts. The abbreviation Xmas is from the first letter of the Greek name Jesus Christ, which is the letter X. Didn't know that.
In Aramaic or in Greek
In Greek.
or Latin? In Greek. Okay. Didn't
Yeah,
know that.
I didn't know that either. I just thought people just put Xmas because just they just put X. I have
People
no.
being lazy.
Yeah, but I thought they were being lazy.
I
Um,
honestly thought it was because people thought of the cross and kind of put it sideways, not to make it so religious. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. Like I always thought it was that. I didn't think it was like,
if
you
if
know.
if if that was the reason, then that's a pretty deep cut. I mean, not a deep cut. But that's
Well,
really
well,
interesting.
the
That
thing is, there's evidence that people were crucified not as a T but as an X. So they were splayed out with
oh
2 hands, 2 feet.
yeah,
So that's the reason why I thought it was Xmas because of a crucifixion thing.
wow, interesting. Never thought
Yeah,
about that either.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know a lot of weird history facts.
yeah. Los is our history major, guys, unofficially. What about you, Los? You got any random facts you want to throw in today? Anything on your mind?
Actually, today I don't. You know,
Okay, okay. You know what?
my
Let's
my
switch it up.
only random fact is that Cleopatra used to had the first vibrator was a box of bees. Other than that, really, I have no random facts. That is a random fact that has been stuck in my head since like '94.
Oh man, I I
Yeah,
I
what
would.
happened was I used to hang out at this bar called Liquid Lounge, right? So I was really good with the owner and a lot of people who worked there, and they're like, "Yo, we're gonna do a sex trivia night. Help us out." So then I did all this research and I pulled out like 50 sex facts, and that was one of them. And I gave it to him, and whoever got that question right, got like a free round of drinks or something like that. and nobody got it right.
Nobody. How about you give us a quick fact about Lowe's? Give the people a quick fact about Lowe's that they might not have known. It could be anything,
Uh,
small or big. No pun intended.
I've dislocated both pinkies and ring finger knuckles 5 times on my right hand and 3 times on my left.
What? Why so many times? That's a lot, dude.
Let's just say I wasn't always a peaceful person.
Yeah, we'll just say that. We'll
Uh,
just say that, chat.
we'll just say that. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll keep it nice. We'll keep it nice for the show.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, let's jump into our show notes real quick, chat. We got some interesting things we want to talk about real quick. Lois, I wanted to get your quick thoughts on the, I don't know if you heard about it, the Apple rights to repair a lawsuit.
About time.
Break it down for the people who may not know what we're talking about.
What happens is Apple tells everyone we're the only one who could repair our stuff. We're the experts. You're not. If you repair your own stuff, you void the warranty. Even if something is out of warranty, we won't sell the parts to repair shops so you can fix your item. You have to come to us. So a good example is Apple will sell a screen, a replacement screen, for $600, right? But you
Yeah.
can get another screen for like $150 or even $80. It may not be the same quality as Apple's, but it's still a replacement screen. But
Yeah.
Apple's like, Apple put in a chip on their screen where if you use another company's screen, then it disables Face ID. So,
Oh yeah.
right to repair people says, listen, this is ours. We own it. So why are we forced to go to you for repair when we should be able to do it ourselves? It's just like a car. Imagine you have a car and the only place you can fix it is at the dealer. You can't
Yeah.
go to like your cousin George to, who could fix it.
I was surprised to hear about it. I didn't even hear about it until like recently. I think it happened a few days ago. I'm just surprised that I think Apple's the first, especially in the mobile phone market, to actually go through with this. I guess in a way they were kind of forced to do it because of the lawsuit. Right
No,
now,
Samsung does the same thing.
Samsung was already doing this.
No, Samsung was telling people you have to go to us. We're the only ones who qualify to repair your stuff. So it's
Oh,
not just Apple, but Apple's most famous for it.
okay, okay. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure even I'm pretty sure more tech companies, um, phone companies, like just more tech companies in general, after this are going to probably start following suit right behind them. Because like you said, yeah, you're right. I mean, you're paying all this money for these devices, for these phones. Imagine if you own your phone and you have to go through that company just to repair it. But if you can just do it on your own and save some money, why not? Especially if you own it and you paid it off, it's yours. Um, right now they're doing this for the iPhone 12 and 13. It's going to be for basic parts at the moment, like battery and screen, because that's the most like basic thing that goes out that they can actually help. I mean, help you get the parts for. And then eventually they're going to move on to let you doing it for the laptops. So I mean, it's pretty cool how they're doing it. I wonder how. I mean, I hope that they have a system where if you request to prepare it, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they will, where they give you like a full outline of like how to do it, break down the details and like things like that. I'm just curious to see how they're gonna take no responsibility if you mess it up in the process. Like, how is that gonna work? You know?
Listen,
So,
even if it's fair where they say, look, you want to repair yourself, that's fine, but you're out of warranty. Okay, no problem. You warned me, now it's on me. But Apple goes so far as to make custom screws where you can't find the bit to unscrew and take apart their product.
oh yeah, yeah. So they'll probably have to send you the tools for it. Like they'll have to send you like literally a repair kit with the part, the tools, and all that stuff like that. Like they'll have to send you
No,
that.
Apple actually, because they were sued for this a long time ago. So what happens is they said, no, 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 listen, we'll sell the bits to certain companies and then you can buy it off that company. So now there's a company called iFixit where you
Hmm.
can buy a special screwdriver set for Apple products and they have all the bits for the screws that they use. But they have to get the licensing off Apple for the specific for the special screws. Not like the
Interesting.
T11s or the T30s.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, it's great that Apple's doing it. I mean, Apple's been getting like a lot of kickback for certain decisions that they've made over the past few years. So this is actually good news. I mean, like I said, it's going to help other companies follow suit. And I'm curious, and especially with the whole laptop thing, I think that's going to be great if they really allow you to get in there, either fix or even upgrade things like in regards to your laptop. I think that's really important because most other laptop companies or desktop companies allow you to do that. And I think it's getting to the point where Apple needs to be open to that now. Like we're in the year 2021 going in 2022 and you're still not able to really get into those desktop and laptops without voiding your warranty, you
Well,
know?
here's the thing. What makes Apple different from the other companies is almost everything is proprietary. Their chip, their RAM, everything else. With the M1, amazing processor, amazing machine, everything's system on a chip design, but they're all exclusive chips. With their old MacBook Airs, all their memory was soldered into the motherboard, so you couldn't swap it out. Uh, Other laptop companies use off-the-shelf products. You know, the only thing that's really custom are like their motherboards and the layout of the motherboards, but all the chips on it are stuff you can get off the shelf. So that's the major difference.
So, do you think when it comes around to the laptops and desktops, do you think that is going to affect their pricing when they start allowing people to open these things up?
No,
No.
Apple is a premium product that people want because it has a very different OS, it has different software, and it performs differently than things on the PC market. Even if you take DaVinci Resolve on a PC and on a Mac it'll work on anything 2016 and over, the new version, with flawless.
Mhm.
Maybe you can't do multiple 4K streams, but there's a workaround for it and you can do it. On a PC, you're more hardware specific. So
Yeah.
even when you're talking about the same program across platforms, it does behave differently.
Yeah. Interesting.
So it's Apple's a premium product because there's a lot of premium design and premium engineering that goes into the product. You know,
Yeah. True indeed. True indeed. I mean, we'll see how it goes, man. But it's definitely a good thing that Apple finally, made this decision. So
but a lot of this is caused because the EU sues Apple for things. Like the EU right now, France in particular is suing Apple because they have proprietary connectors for their phones, um, and they're like it should be used a universal one like USB-C. So
yeah.
there's a lot of a lot of legal battles in Europe that are kind of forcing this issue across the world because Apple's not going to release a European version, an American version, and like a Japanese version. They're just going to release one version that follows the EU because they got sued there. Because if they lose the EU, they lose a huge part of their market.
Oh yeah. I could imagine. So is that why Apple decided to move over to USB-C for their phones and everything else?
That decision actually became through Thunderbolt because Thunderbolt was being accepted more and more, and Thunderbolt and USB C, like if you look at the connector, you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
So on the new Apple products, it's Thunderbolt slash USB C. It does both. So they wanted to move more towards Thunderbolts, so that's kind of why they did it on the iPads and things like that, and on the laptops. But USB C should be universal across the board on all Apple products, in my personal opinion. It just makes things easier.
Yeah.
You're not guessing what do you need. Oh, it's USB C. It's an Apple product. Done. And
Yeah.
so, how many PC products out there and Android products use USB C? So it'll be more of a universal thing.
I agree.
Like if I have to charge my phone and you have an Android, I can't be like, oh man, I can't charge my phone. You're like, oh, it's USB C. Yeah, no problem. Plug it in, charge the phone. You're good. You know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? It should be universal USB C in my opinion, but what the fuck do I know?
What do we know? We're just a podcast. Who cares, right?
Exactly.
Who cares? All right, so let's jump into the reason why we are here. Eternals, Marvel's most recent MCU film. Los, I'm going to let you go first because I know you are so passionate about this topic. You're so passionate about this film. And you just can't wait to pour your heart out about how much you love this film. So
It
the floor is yours.
it sucked. It was boring. I kept waiting for it to be good. They
Oh
killed Salma
man.
Hayek. Okay, it was boring. I'm watching it. I'm like, is this a Marvel movie or a DC movie? It's terrible.
Oh man. Wait. What do you mean? Or a DC movie? What is that supposed to mean?
DC movies have tendency to be on the boring side, bro.
Okay, some of them are. I'll give you that. Some of them
Yeah,
are.
I think this is Marvel's first miss. The first
Wow.
movie that that is worth not watching if you watch all the Marvel movies together.
I'm actually really surprised. I thought that there was no chance that you were not going to at least kind of like this.
No, no. What is her name? Hold on one second. I gotta pull up the IMDb. Angelina Jolie. Terrible performance. Terrible performance. Absolutely terrible performance. I was like, oh my god, please kill her. Please kill
Did
her.
you
Please kill her. You're killing everybody else. Kill her too, please.
did you not like her
Terrible.
character? Or did I mean,
The
did you at least kind of
character, her performance, her screen time, her action, her fighting, her look, her makeup, her wardrobe.
hey, I thought the makeup was okay. I thought the wardrobe was okay. Come on.
No.
No, not
Worst,
no.
worst Marvel
Oh man.
character ever. I would rather watch the old Howard the Duck movie on repeat 10 times than watch her one more time in that movie.
Jeez, wow. No love, man. No love for Angelina Jolie, huh? Okay.
Nope.
No love. Wow. Okay. So, all right. Well, for me personally, I would have to say, and my feeling is the complete opposite of yours. I thought that this was one of the best Marvel stories. One of the best Marvel stories, in my opinion. Once again, guys, this is spoilers, spoiler territory, full spoiler territory. So if you have not seen it, watch it and then come back and listen to this episode or watch this episode. I just think everything that they talked about with like in reference to the Eternals and how they affected, the human race, how they tried to help the human race achieve their greatness, so to speak. I just thought it was interesting. It was very different compared to most of the other stories that we got from the MCU. We're getting to this point where a lot of people are starting to say, are we getting too many superhero movies? Are superhero movies starting to just be rinse and repeat? Fight, action scene, dramatic ending. And for me, yeah, this wasn't like the best MCU film. I'm not saying that by any means. I did like the diversity in the characters. Angelina Jolie's character was okay to me. I wasn't too crazy about it. Um, I'm upset that Selma Hayek died. We'll get back to that. But I just think overall for me, I think what really made this movie at least kind of good or interesting for me to watch was the story. And it was just so different from what we're normally used to. If you go back and look at Black Widow, um, they talked about human trafficking. And that's something that I would have never thought that Disney would have allowed to be a main topic in any of their films because it's kind of touchy. But we were talking about human trafficking in that film. That film wasn't great, but the story was interesting. So same thing for this one. I thought the story was just really interesting in reference to how they affected the human race. Um, as an overall film, it was okay. Like if I had to grade this film, I'd give it like a C plus. It was all right.
A what?
A C plus.
Oh, you're way too generous. You're way okay. First of all, I feel like someone who was on Ancient Aliens wrote this script because aliens came down and gave us the plow and gave us all this technology. No, the dude with the big messed up hair is like aliens. Like I felt like he wrote this script because what human beings aren't smart enough to come up with the plow. Human beings aren't smart enough to move forward in technology. We need space aliens to come and give it to us. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well,
No.
uh, Lisa J in chat, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by, Mom. Much appreciated.
Hello, Lisa.
Aloha. Um, so I mean, all right. Well, let's start here. We're gonna pick three things that we didn't like or liked about the film. Los, I'm gonna start with you for the first one. What's one thing that you liked or didn't like about the film?
The effects were good. The effects were really, really good. I felt like they were um, a little better than in the other Marvel films because they were consistent throughout. I did,
Yes.
I did like the creature design. Wait, what the hell were they called again? The Deviants. I did like the creature design,
Yeah.
although I felt like it looked a little too much like the aliens on that Netflix movie where people from the past have to fight a war in the future. I
Hmm,
forget what that one's called.
I'm not sure what that one was either, actually.
Yeah, it had what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy in it.
Oh, the Tomorrow War.
Tomorrow War, yeah. I felt like the creature design was a little too similar to that.
Okay.
I did like the fact that the performers really showed how they were connected and hurt with each other and kind of tired of each other, but they loved each other all at the same time like a family. I did
Hmm.
like that. I just felt like certain performances were just terrible.
I mean, okay.
All right,
Okay, I hear you.
your three likes.
Well, my first like, and this one is near and dear to me because of my son. Lauren Ridloff. I'm probably butchering her name. She what character did she play in this film?
Uh, Macari.
Yeah, Macari, Lauren Ridloff played Macari. She's a deaf superhero. I did not know
Yes.
about that. She is an American actress. She used to be a teacher, and she was actually known to be Miss Deaf America in 2000 to 2002.
Oh,
Very
so she's
interesting.
actually deaf.
Yeah, she's actually deaf. Um, so for
Go
me,
Marvel. Go Marvel for inclusion.
go Marvel for inclusion. Like their inclusion has been on point. For me, ever since I found out that he was deaf, I really looked at a lot of things differently in regards to accessibility and like actors who are deaf and like movies that speak on that topic of someone being deaf. But seeing a deaf superhero is something that I've never seen before. I didn't even expect that to happen in this film until she started signing. I was like, is she deaf? That is so freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So
Question for
for
you: was she using ASL or was she using a different sign language?
she was using ASL.
Okay.
So I just thought that that was so freaking cool. I thought it was cool. So I'm actually really looking forward to my son watching this film and having him see, wow, there's a superhero who is deaf. You know, really awesome. I'm really glad that they did that. So for me, that was like the first major plus for me just to see that. So yeah, I loved it. Um, what's your second like or dislike about the film?
Oh, the effects was my first one.
Mm,
The way they acted as a family. But if I have to add another one, I liked the way uh, Makarai. I like the way they used her speed. Like
yeah,
a lot of times they show speedsters and they don't show them fighting the way they're supposed to. I felt like her character used the powers the way it was supposed to be. You know, like running and punching really hard and coming around and dancing around a character and doing tornadoes and things like that. I really enjoyed how that character used their powers. Like that was really well thought out.
yeah.
Um very 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 well thought out. I also have one other like, but your turn for your next like.
I would definitely say for one, yeah, I did like how they use her speed. Yeah, that was just really interesting because I was curious how she was going to play a role in that film in general, being someone who was deaf and being someone who was a speedster, basically. So definitely like that. My other like from the film, I would have to say is I gotta kind of tag team with you on this one is the special effects. They were freaking amazing. Like it was just, and like mind you, I saw this film in IMAX. So I told myself that from here on out, all Marvel movies, all DC movies, I'm gonna watch in IMAX. I haven't seen an IMAX movie in so long when I experienced this movie in IMAX, I was just like, man, what the heck am I missing? Like the sound quality, the visual, especially the sound, was just on point. So the visual effects is probably some of the best visual effects work that I have seen in any Marvel film.
Hmm.
Freaking
I
amazing.
agree.
I loved it. So big ups to the special effects department. And even at the end of the movie, that's like the biggest credit scene I've like the biggest credit roll I've ever seen in my life. Did you see that special effects list? It was long. Like I'm saying, like I think it was. I think the list of the special effects was on the screen for about like 30 seconds. It so much work went into the special effects department in this film. I got to get props to these guys. Big ups to
The
Marvel.
one thing that I like the most is when they get their, I guess, their superhero suit on at the end of the movie.
Yeah,
The way it shimmers gold and then everything forms. I thought that it looked very delicate, almost like the thing was being weaved onto them. Like
exactly.
it
Yes.
felt so smooth and somewhat strangely natural. You know, like you watch those time lapses of plants grow and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
If it was kind of like that. Like I really loved how they finessed it and everything was like Angelina Jolie's. Like I hated her performance, her fighting, everything else, but the way they created her weapon and things like that, I thought was really, really on point, and it seemed to come from like they matched her performance so well that it seemed like her weapons came out of her thoughts. It
yes,
wasn't like a
yeah,
physical trait. It didn't seem like a technology where you have to hit a button. It felt like you thought it and it came out. So the special
yeah,
effects were amazing.
yeah. Definitely agree. Definitely agree. Um, what is your third and final like or dislike about the Eternals?
The fact that it was a multiracial cast. This is the first time where we get to see multiracial superheroes. Um,
Yeah,
and they're all equal. It isn't like, uh, um, a token black guy, a token Asian guy, a token Indian guy. Really was inclusionary, and it felt like they were all like there was no character that felt like they were unimportant. Like every
yeah,
character led to the development of the story. So for me, it was the first time that you see the world we want, where everyone's together and everyone's included. So the multiracial team is what I enjoyed the most. Because as much as we love all our other things, you know, when you look at the Avengers, okay, tell me who's not white or black. You can't.
yeah. It's hard to
Everyone's
think
either
about
white or
that.
black.
Yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, there
When
is.
you look
Yeah,
at DC, um, tell me someone who's not white or black.
yeah. You can't. Yeah, off the
You
top of your
can't.
head, you gotta think about it for a second. Like, like like you gotta take time. But with this cast, it's one of the most diverse casts in probably in Marvel. Period. Like it's. And I keep going back to it, but for the fact that they had a deaf superhero,
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I would have never like. Is she deaf in the comics?
You know what? I've never read that comic. That's one comic book I have not read, so I don't know.
I
What
gotta
I
look at.
also like is that they had LGBTQ representation,
Yeah,
you know, and they did it in the way it's supposed to be done. The character just happens to be gay. It isn't a big point. It's just they happen to be gay. The way it should be presented on screen, like something natural,
yeah,
and that's what I liked. Um, it took me back who the character was. I was like, that one's the gay one,
yeah,
because it didn't click when in the movie when uh him and his husband and his kid were all playing ball together. It
yeah,
didn't click that they were a couple. I was like, who's this guy? The uncle or the neighbor or something?
yeah,
And then the way they presented it, it was like, oh, okay, but then I was also wondering, are they going to do the old school television pat on the back? Oh, this is my husband, pat on the back. That's the only affection you get, right? But when they actually show that they were a real couple, I was like, okay, it's done the way it should be, where it's just happens to be one part of the character.
I feel you. Yeah, the inclusion was definitely dialed up in this film. yeah, it just really shocked me. Like I said, I know I went back to it before, but yeah, it's just I like out of all the superheroes I thought about wanting to have, I would have never thought, hey, what would happen if we had a deaf superhero?
Hmm.
Just never thought about it. But
And
it
the
was interesting
other
that they
thing
did
is
that.
too is like I can only name one other movie that has an Asian, an Indian, and an other, meaning another race. Can you name one other movie that has that?
An Asian, an Indian, and the other?
Yeah.
Why do I feel like you're probably thinking about a comedy movie?
Mm-hmm.
Harold and Kumar.
Correct.
Yeah.
Harold and
That's
Kumar.
I thought about that when you first said it. I was like, nah. Wait, no, yeah, they are Asian Indian.
Think about it. You've got a Mexican, an Asian, a black man, a deaf woman. You have several, several different races. Like you look at this and you're like, this is inclusionary. And when we were talking about this movie in the beginning, when they announced it, that was my big thing about it. And one of the things I was worried about was it was going to focus on one particular character, and that was it. But it didn't feel that way. It really felt like the reason why Cersei's was focused so much on her because that's the way the story worked. It
Yeah.
wasn't, like, oh, this is our token person that we're going to focus on. It just literally felt like that's just the way the story went,
Yeah.
and that's what I loved about it.
Interesting. Interesting. Um, all right, so my final like or dislike about the film. Um, I wasn't too crazy about the end credit scenes. And I feel like the last few films, in my opinion, that the end credit scenes were a little lackluster. Some of them were important to have for story moving purposes, but I just felt like some of the end credit scenes could have just been an extra on a DVD, in my opinion,
Um,
especially the ones from this film.
I just kind of think it's just tradition in Marvel movies now, and they're always going to do it. You
Yeah,
know, because this movie should not have a part. It absolutely should not have a part two. It was terrible.
I don't think it
Every
will.
other Marvel movie, I can see having a part two, but this one should not. Absolutely should not.
Yeah, I think the
Because,
director, what's the director's name? I forgot the director's name. Chloe. I think the director said that she doesn't plan on a sequel, but we'll obviously get the Eternals in like another film, probably like an Avengers film or Captain America, something like that. You know what I mean? So we probably won't get
yeah.
like an actual sequel. If we do, it's gonna be a far ways out. And I guess it just depends on how the story flows from here over the next few years. Um,
All right. I have a couple
yeah.
questions to ask you about this movie. These are kind of things that I was a little on the dislike side, but I'm curious to get your opinion. The
Okay.
character of Kingo, how did you feel about him? Did you think he was funny? Do you think he was necessary? Do you think he was kind of one of the back burner characters? How did you feel about him?
Kingo, played by Kumal. I don't know how I'm saying his name right. Kumal
Nagiani? Nagiani?
Nagiani. Honestly, I didn't like his character as much as I thought I would have. I felt like his character was a little annoying at times, and he was trying to force the comedy aspect into the film where it just didn't feel necessary, in my opinion. I felt like he had a lot of cringy scenes. Um, I love his powers. His power was cool. We like basically had his fingers were guns. He was like shooting like balls out of his fingers. I thought
Yeah,
that was
and
cool.
then he did the one Watu. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was a nice touch. But overall, I think out of all the characters, he's my least favorite character. I really didn't I didn't like his character at all. So
For me, the least favorite was Druig, the telepath.
really, I liked his character. I
I
thought he was
hated that
interesting.
character.
I thought he was interesting. Let me see. Jurek is played by Barry Coegan. Coegan. We'll just say that. Jurek.
We'll say that.
Huh?
We'll say that.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Coegan. Works for me. I
Coegan.
have no clue about that.
For anybody who's listening, yeah, I'm probably butchering these names, but I just want to put it out there to give them credit. I liked his character. He was because he was very well spoken. And out of all the people in the Eternals, he saw things differently, which I thought made him interesting. And for the fact that he was so powerful that he can literally control the minds of every human on the planet, and he was so tempted to just like take control of the planet. Basically, I thought that was just interesting, and I was curious to see where he would have possibly gone with that. I think that's what made his character interesting to me, in my opinion.
What I didn't like about him is his performance felt like the Reed Richards performance from Fantastic.
I don't know that one. And Four
Remember
Stick.
Fantastic Four, the last Fantastic Four movie that came out, the really terrible one?
Yeah.
Well, people joke around because the way they wrote the title was Fan, the number four, and Stick.
Oh
You know,
yeah, I didn't like
so
that
Fan
either. I
Four.
thought that was weird. Like, why did they write that like that? It didn't even make the right letter. it was
Yeah,
it was so
you
weird.
know, we won't talk about the fact that that movie felt like two movies cut together, but but the Druig's performance, I felt like that Reed Richards character. Like it felt like almost a clone of that performance, and that's why I didn't like him too much. You
I
know,
feel you. I feel
um,
you.
and Icarus just felt like an asshole the whole entire time.
Um, Icarus. I
The
felt like
Superman.
they pretty much just made him a Superman. They try to make him a Clark. Um, I was neither here nor there about his character. He was bland to me. I was like, all right, whatever. He was Clark, so
My favorite performance is from Gilgamesh. Madong, oh, Sayok, Sok.
oh yeah, is he the same guy from um what is the movie? Um Doctor
Doctor Strange.
Strange?
You're thinking of? No,
Yeah.
they're the same type. Like they're the same casting type.
He
But no,
looks
they're two
just
different
like
actors.
him.
Two different actors. Uh, um, initially what I thought, but as soon as he opens his mouth, it's a different voice.
Even his voice sounds similar to me. I was like, wait a
No, no,
second.
no, no. The actor from Fantastic Four has more like his voice has more of a resonance. Like it almost feels like it carries, and this guy's more of a sharper spoken character. Like his syllables land. As far as another one, Doctor Strange, it has a resonance that carries.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the guy that we're talking about, chat, is Benedict Wong. He plays Wong, which is kind of funny. From Doctor Strange. I thought that's who the character was, but it's literally two different guys. And they even kind of look similar. I was just like,
Again, it's the same casting type. You
yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah.
like when you were casting that movie to play basketball, I bet there's a lot of guys in that lineup where you fit
Yeah.
that type.
Yeah.
It's just casting types. It just so happens that these actors who a lot of actors who are the same casting type have the same baseline personality. You know,
Yeah. True, true.
so
Yeah.
it's just a coincidence. But I thought his performance was the best. He felt the
Yeah.
most human out of everybody.
Yes, he did. I 100% agree. I think he definitely felt the most human. Next to Sprite, in my opinion. I liked
I
Sprite.
hated Sprite.
You didn't like Sprite? Oh,
No,
come
I don't like
on.
Sprite. I
Sprite
liked your
was
storyline. I liked your storyline, but I didn't like the character. I
I
just think
liked
it
her
was
character.
it was too Tinkerbell.
It was too Tinkerbell.
Yeah, they even said it in the movie. It's too Tinkerbell.
Oh man.
She's in love with Icarus, but Icarus will never be with her because she's a little kid. It was just too
Yeah.
Tinkerbell.
Too Tinkerbell. Oh man. So all right, so let's just go over real quick.
Wait, I have
The
another question for you.
okay.
What about Kingo's sidekick? Karun?
Come on. Oh,
The other Indian guy, the
yeah,
sidekick.
annoying once again. I felt like his sidekick. Um, I didn't like it. It was just like him along with what's the other guy's name? Kingo and his sidekick were just the most annoying part of the entire film to me. I felt like it was forced comedy. Like they were there to be the comedy aspect of the film, and they didn't need to be. I feel like everybody else had their little comedy moments here and there, their little laughable moments, and it was fine. I felt like they were both forceful, and it was very cringy.
But the
I
thing
did not
is,
like it.
I'm going to say Karoon because I don't remember the way you pronounce it. But Karoon, I felt like one, how many cameras do you have was an awesome gag. I thought that was super funny. He always wound up whipping out a camera.
Yeah, that part I liked. I did like that.
And he did have his moments where he felt like he was the person to give the right humanizing aspect to things, you know?
Mhm.
Like right before he leaves, like he says that speech, and I thought that was really good, and a couple little things he says here and there, I kind of felt was like he said it was an honor to be with the Eternals. I've heard so much about you and things like that. And that
Mhm.
kind of embarrassed everybody. And I kind of liked those little moments that he brought out. But when he was trying to be funny, I felt he was more annoying.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think literally you probably said it best. Like, yeah, his little human moments were perfect. The camera moment was perfect. I loved that. I thought it was hilarious. But when they were trying to be funny, it felt so forced, and I just did not like that. I think that's one thing about the Marvel films that I appreciate is that some of the actors' comedic timing felt natural, and that's what I
Yeah.
like about a lot of the films. I think Robert Downey Jr., in my opinion, probably did it the best, because he was just so sarcastic. Um, but yeah, it like when they try to do their comedy moments, it felt forced and it was really cringy. I didn't like it.
Um,
So
I honestly think that the Peter Parker is much funnier than the
really,
Iron Man. Yeah, I thought he was much funnier because he's more nervous and it's more of a little kid and the weird things that he says, like, like the simple thing was like, "You guys remember this really old movie?"
yeah,
And they were all hating on him. Like I just thought like that was a very natural thing, and that's what made to me make him feel funnier. I think there was. I kind of felt like with Robert Downey Jr. They pulled too many '80s moments with the perfect one-liners.
yeah.
What about Fastos, the inventor? What did you like or dislike about that character?
I liked his character. I liked his powers. I thought it was really interesting how like he can just create anything out of anything. I mean, I think I mean, out of all the people, just kind of like how you mentioned earlier, he felt probably the most human next to who else did we say? Druid? No, not Druid. Wait, who did we say that we felt that felt human? Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I think those two characters just felt the most human out of everybody because they just how they represented themselves and they like they just felt grounded. So I mean, outside of that, that's probably the only thing that I would say about him. About Fastos.
Um, what I liked about Fastos was he was a smart one, you know,
Yeah,
and so many times in movies you don't see a person of color being the smart one. You know, they're either the explosive character or they're the really calm one. You know, there's
yeah,
never a middle ground, and I kind of felt like it was nice to see a character like that in the middle ground. It was good. Um, the other thing I really liked about it was when they showed them in Babylon. It was, as far as we know, arche- archaeologically accurate. The
yeah,
gates of Babylon.
yeah,
As stupid as that sounds, those little moments impress me. Like you did your research. That impresses me, you know.
yeah.
And they
I
try to show the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, but I think no one knows what that looks like, so it doesn't matter how they put it on there. But like those little moments impress me because it really shows that they thought it through and they were like, "Listen, this is what we know, and here it is on screen." So oddballs like me can be like, "Oh my god, that's actually historically accurate. Now I can watch the rest of the scene."
it's funny you say that because me and my girl went to go see this and she said it herself. She was like, "Wow, like just the presentation of some of these environments were just amazing. Like you felt like you were there." And like I know we've been there in a lot of Marvel films, but for some reason I'm telling you, this is top tier Marvel. Like the special effects, the costume, everything. This is top tier Marvel. Like the sets felt like you were in that set. You felt like you were in 500 BC or whatever other time. Like you felt like you were wherever they were at that point in time. It was just amazing. I really loved how they did like the special effects and the set design in this one for sure.
What I didn't like is the timeline. Like it kind of felt like they jumped from one location to the next way too quickly. You
I
know,
was I was okay with it, honestly. I mean, me personally, I felt like it was very well paced, in my opinion. Yeah, they did jump around a lot, and at some points it was like, okay, can we just stick to one timeline for a little longer? But
no,
there
no,
was a
I
lot
mean
of jumping
that. I
around.
mean, like when they moved from location to location in modern times, I kind of felt like they had a
Oh,
transporter. Next thing you
yeah.
know, they're there. Like there was no sense of time passing. It just kind of felt like, okay, we're in Los Angeles for the sake of we're in Nevada in 1 minute, and the next minute we're in Iraq or wherever. It just
Yeah.
felt like it just kind of felt like there was no effort. Like there was no, even if they would have set a line in the sense of like, okay, we could be there in 10 hours, and then boom, they pop up there. Okay, it took 10 hours. It
That
wasn't
makes
like one, two,
sense.
three, we're there.
Yeah. Or like, hey, now we're in Mars. Like, wait, but weren't you in New Jersey like 2 hours ago?
Exactly, exactly.
And I gotta
I
say, side note, I'm mad that Salma Hayek died so
What?
early. By the
Oh
way,
my god, that was like as soon as she died, I was ready to just walk out.
I was
No,
I was so upset. I was so upset. Like, how do you kill some and then you kill her in that way? You like set her up to be just destroyed by the freaking what were those things called again?
oh,
The Dang, what are they called, chat?
the deviants,
The
deviants.
deviants. Yeah, they just like devoured her. So messed up. Kari
Yeah,
Johnson, what's up, man? How you doing in chat? Appreciate you stopping by.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I was just oh, side note, Kari, we are spoiling Eternals right now. So if you haven't seen it, I'd love you to stay, but just a warning. Um, yeah, I'm just mad that they killed Selma Hayek. I'm really mad. I was upset about that, and I saw it happen. It kind of messed my mood for the rest of the movie.
See, for me, more, it's kind of like it's almost as if nobody wants a Latino superhero because if you appear on screen, you're gonna die. You know, and I just
Yeah,
kind of feel like that's just wrong. You know,
yeah,
like
it
damn, let
sucks.
her live. Let if they let her die in the final battle, heroic, they'd have been like, oh, that's fucked up, but at least she died.
Yeah,
With in a
yeah,
blaze of glory.
yeah. Let her. I mean, even though it was still kind of, it wasn't really a blaze of glory. That she was just fed to the dogs. Literally, she was literally fed to the
Literally.
dogs. I didn't like it. Um, like I said, yeah, I give it a C plus overall. Story for me, A plus. Loved it. Special effects, A plus. Overall, C plus for me. So that's our grade for Eternals, guys. I just want to say I really hate how online is almost spoiling the next Spider-Man movie because like every 5 seconds there's a new trailer, there's a new clip, there's a new picture, there's a new something, and I'm like almost getting spoiled by this movie. So I'm trying to stay away from everything Spider-Man. I'm trying to stay away from it.
I'm curious if they really are going to bring the three Spider-Men together.
I'm really curious about that because they have been talking about it. They even asked about the guy from the Spider-Man movie that we just mentioned. They've been asking him, like, hey, there's rumors that you're going to be in it. Are you going to be in it? He's been kind of like nonchalant saying no, but then also feel like he's saying yes, but then also feel like he's just trying not to say anything. So it was interesting.
Well, there was leaked footage of him in his old Spider-Man suit against the blue screen.
Man, I honestly, from what I know, and from the
Andrew
so-called
Garfield.
room,
Andrew
Andrew
Garfield.
Garfield, yes. Um, From what I know so far, I feel like this could possibly be, if everything works out well, one of the best MCU films we've had in a very long time. With the way things are shaping up, could be.
I just kind of feel the MCU was focused around Iron Man till he died, and I think they need to focus around Spider-Man for this one.
I agree.
Even if Spider-Man is only introducing other characters and things like that, I kind of feel like because they really set up where you know the successor for Iron Man is um, Spider-Man.
Yeah, they definitely set
Like
that up.
when he builds the suit in the plane and things like that, and how he has the glasses and how he
Yeah.
seems to kind of connected to everybody and know everybody. I kind of feel like they should start focusing on Spider-Man, but the problem is Sony's the problem. I just think Disney just needs to pay Sony like here's $1 billion, give me Spider-Man, go to hell.
Yeah. Sony's not gonna give up Spider-Man. They're not gonna do it. That's their money printing machine right there. That's their money printing machine. They're not gonna do
Yeah, but look what happened to
it.
Venom 2. Terrible.
Yeah, I still haven't
Terrible.
seen it yet. Still haven't seen it.
Oh no, dude. Listen, if you're gonna watch it, find a boot, find a leg, and that's all I'm saying. It is not worth paying money.
Find a boot, find a
I am
leg.
so sad that I paid money for that movie.
Jeez, Louise. Um,
Bro, the worst movie of the year.
well, I
The
think Los
1990 whatever Howard the Duck movie was much better.
I think Los might have already told us his because we have an upcoming podcast show that we're going to do about the content of the year. And one of those categories is what is one of the worst movies you've seen this year? I think Los already gave us his answer to that even before that episode. So so speaking of upcoming episodes, guys, next week is Thanksgiving. Obviously, we're not doing an episode next week. The week after that, Friday, December 3rd, we're going to be doing our bracket breakdown of the best Christmas movie of all time. So make sure you guys jump in and check us out on that.
And if
And
Ricky
then
doesn't screw up, he'll be on the podcast.
Ricky might be back for that one.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the next one after that is going to be. I mean, I'm not sure when it's going to be. We're going to be doing our content of the year, breaking down our favorite films of the year, TV shows, games, and etc. Basically, and talking about what we're looking forward to in 2022. That episode might be the week after or the 17th. We'll have to let you know depending on schedule because it's getting close to Christmas. And don't forget, guys, check us out on YouTube. Hit the like and subscribe button, hit the bell notification to get noticed when we go live. And we're also on Twitch now. So if anybody who is watching us on Twitch, we have our very own JHouze Radio Twitch channel. The link is in the description below. Make sure you guys go over there and follow us. We're trying to get JHouze Radio everywhere. And hopefully pretty soon we're going to also be streaming on Facebook as well.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting. Don't forget we're on TikTok. Type in JHouze Radio. You can find us on TikTok. We post some clips from the podcast and maybe some other random footage as well.
And
Any
original content because we are getting together to post original content for TikTok.
True indeed. True indeed.
So we're focusing on TikTok. Well, not
Yeah.
focusing, but we're adding to TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Los has me on the TikTok train now.
yeah, man. Listen, I'm sending you clips constantly on TikTok. I hope you're looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah. I've actually been
Yeah,
checking
that
it
face
out.
is like, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh my goodness. No,
Yeah.
I have actually checked out some of your ones you messaged me. They're pretty freaking hilarious, actually. So
Yeah.
all right, guys, we're getting out of here. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for checking us out. Kyrie in chat. Yes, Die Hard will probably win the Christmas tournament, but we will see. Other than that, we love you guys. Peace and chicken grease. Thank you for stopping by. Later.
Later, guys.